When I first got into trading, I was absolutely fascinated by how much money you can make on 1-minute charts. Everything moved so fast. It seemed that you buy here, sell a minute later, and make hundreds of dollars. I thought to myself, if I could sit here and do this all day, how much money could I make? Hey, I'm Pat. Been trading for over 10 years. Started in 2016 in the CFDs and Forex industry, and for the last 3 years, I've been trading futures. I have both traded my personal capital as well as been funded with multiple prop firms and have taken multiple payouts. Obviously, the point of view portrayed in the intro is an extremely flawed way to look at trading. Obviously, the person who thinks that way only focuses on profits and forgets about risk. And if you have spent more than one day in the market, you know that forgetting about risk is a surefire way to the poorhouse. If you want to trade 1-minute chart, prepare to lose a lot. Your stop loss will be hit multiple times per session. And if you're prone to overtrading, you can dig quite a deep hole for yourself. So does that mean the 1-minute chart is a bad time frame to trade and other time frames are better? For some people, yes. Here's my story. When I started back in 2015, I loved the low time frames. I would not even bother looking at 1-hour charts, or heavens forbid daily charts. When I look at my trading back then, it was akin to playing a slot machine, more than running a trading business. I loved seeing the numbers move, the bars form in the direction of my trade. I was in a constant loop of feeling elated, only then to feel devastated 30 minutes later. I was hopeful when the trade was going against me, hoping that the market will reverse any minute now, and I was fearful and greedy when the market was going in my direction, afraid that it may turn around at any time and I'm going to lose all my profits, and also greedy because it felt like I wasn't making enough compared to how much I was losing on my losing trades. Because of my fear, I would close my trades prematurely. I would lose 80 points on my losing trades, and I would only win between 30 to 40 points on my winning trades. While you can definitely fix that risk to reward with solid discipline, tighter entries and all that, trading a low time frame requires an immense mental toughness. And it's also very tiring, as every minute you're faced with multitude of decisions, whether you want to get into a trade, stay in a trade, close a trade, or do nothing. If you lose your focus or need to step away from the screen for a minute, for example, to go to the bathroom, it may mean that you have just lost an opportunity to close that trade at a really good profit or to get into a new trade at a really good level. Forget about the job, family, or pets while you trade. It's only you and the market. After many years of unsuccessful trading, strategy hopping, blowing multiple accounts, putting more money in, taking different courses, I decided to quit. Before I quit, however, I opened the last trade on silver on a demo account. When I revisited trading 4 months later, I noticed that my entry is no longer visible on the screen when the platform loaded up. It's something I was used to, that the market would stop me out when I left the trade unattended. However, this time was different. The trade was still running and in a lot of profit. Something clicked in me then. While I was not even thinking about trading, this position was making me money all this time. This is wonderful, I thought. There was no stress. I didn't think about the markets. I didn't have to watch the trade or obsess over it. Then I knew. I realized that this is exactly how I want to trade. And this is how I trade today. To trade with prop firms, obviously, I had to adjust my approach in order to be able to get into the trades and exit those trades intraday, but still not having to watch them all the time. As I'm recording this video, I'm sitting in a couple of trades that I don't even know what's happening with them, and I love it. I landed at a 1-hour time frame as my time frame of choice. I look at the market only at the top of every hour and decide if I want to place a trade, stay in a trade, close a trade, or do nothing. That's it. I have my daily loss limit set at 1 hour. If I lose my first trade, that's it. I don't trade anymore that day, and I focus on my business instead. The higher time frame trading, even in the props, allowed me to hold on to my winners longer, take higher probability trades based on higher probability setups, and most of all, enjoy my trading. Not only because of the results that I'm achieving, but also because I eliminated the stress that comes from watching the price action. It is definitely not the sexiest way to trade, as my monkey brain still loves the low time frames and all the action that happens on the 1-minute chart. But every time I slip in and I go to take a look at the lower time frames and take, just a little nibble on the market, I'm being punished right there and then. As long as I stay on the higher time frames, I win. And as a former athlete, I absolutely hate losing and I love to win. This is the kind of self-discovery that you need to go through yourself. What frustrates you the most? What would you change about your trading process right now? I'll leave you guys with this. I have never heard of a professional trading outlet or a professional trader at a bank who would trade a low time frame. If you're so hell-bent and you want to prove the world wrong, go ahead and keep trading the 1 minute chart. Otherwise, I encourage you to give a higher time frame a shot. Thanks guys, thank you for sticking around, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.